Hey, I'm Stephanie, and they say goldfish are happy because they only remember the last 10 seconds of their lives. Now that's a cute myth, but if I were a goldfish, that would mean I'd probably do things like buy the same lipstick on repeat and then wonder why my drawers were full of duplicates. And honestly, the makeup industry would love that. But I would rather remember what I already have. So for September, I built my makeup bag around older products that I used to love, especially colorful ones that look amazing with a late summer tan. This is my Remember September bag. Today, I'm going to show you what happens when you shop your stash like your happiness depends on it, because maybe it does. Now, this bag is not going to be my only makeup I use this month. I can still use anything else in my collection, but this bag will be the default on my busy days, my grab and go when I need to simplify my crazy schedule. And since my makeup bag changes every month anyway, that gives me some variety, so why not make it intentional? The theme came from a lovely commenter who suggested Remember September as a theme for this month, and I thought, what a perfect excuse to dive back into some of the more colorful products I often forget that I own, since I usually tend to reach for various shades of beige. Because here's the thing about September. My tan is at its deepest right now, which means I can actually pull off more vibrant shades that might feel garish to me on my winter skin. I'm not going to waste that opportunity. In about a month, I'll be back with a follow-up video where we'll review not just how these products performed, but also how the whole idea of remembering instead of buying actually felt. Because that's the real experiment here, isn't it? And if you want to see how to intentionally shop your own stash, because there's definitely a method to this madness, I have a whole video about it, which I'll link here and in the show notes. All right, let's start with the foundation of it all, quite literally. For my nose primer, I'll be sticking with my tried and true Sisley Blur Expert. This thing has been in my routine for so long, I almost forget it's a luxury purchase. But when I remember to use it, my makeup stays put on my nose all day, which is saying something because I touch my face constantly, and my nose is pretty much the Bermuda Triangle of makeup. It disappears and no one knows where it goes. Now, for an all-over face primer, I don't currently have one. I completely used up my beloved Bobbi Brown face base, may it rest in peace, and I have been primerless ever since. But here's where it gets fun. My Patreon members and I went into town last week to collect some free samples from some of the fancy shops. So this month, I'll be testing various primers with my foundation to see if anything can fill that Bobbi Brown-sized hole in my heart, or if I should just run back to it with open arms. Speaking of foundation, my Estée Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place makeup in shade 2N2 Buff is my perfect late summer shade. This foundation and I have history. It's not the most exciting relationship, but it's reliable. It shows up every day, it never lets me down. Sometimes I get distracted by newer, shinier foundations, like that Surratt Dewdrop that tortured me last month and is now no longer with us. But Double Wear? It's still here, still performing, still making me look like my skin is even when it's more spotty than cell receptions in the mountains. For color correction, I'm remembering this Salt New York Sneaky Balm in olive green, which I received a few months ago in PR. It has a radiant finish, and when you're using a matte foundation like Double Wear, sometimes you need something to make the overall result look more balanced and natural. Less, I'm wearing foundation, and more, I just have naturally perfect skin. We all know which one I prefer. And then we have this almost gone Lancôme Teint Idole Ultra Wear Concealer in shade 215 or 023, depending on the region you're shopping in. This thing is ancient by makeup standards, and I'm literally scraping the bottom of the tube now. But you know what? It still works, and there's something very satisfying about using up a beautiful product instead of completely abandoning it for something newer and shinier. Although I may end up buying a new concealer this month because there might not be enough in here to make it to October. Now this is where things get interesting. This is my Kevyn Aucoin contrast stick in the shade Tone, and we have a complicated relationship. I bought this during what I like to call Contourgate a couple of years ago. I'll try to link that video if I can find it in my archives. I bought it in winter and it just didn't work. The formula felt great, but the shade was just all wrong. But now that it's summer and my skin is deeper, I'm curious. Maybe this shade will finally make sense as a contour now. We're about to find out. But this Tom Ford shade and Illuminate duo, this is what I'm actually excited about. It's the perfect time of year for this bronze shade, and I am not going to let that opportunity go to waste. There's something almost criminal about having the perfect summer bronzer and not using it during your most bronzed time of year. It's like having a convertible and never putting the top down. For cream blush, I'm bringing back this Bobbi Brown Pot Rouge in powder pink. This has been a summer favorite for years because it looks absolutely perfect with my tan. But here's the thing, it's several years old now and it is starting to show its age. The texture is changing and I know I should probably let it go soon, but before I do, I want to see if I can use it up, give it one last hurrah. And for that Lit From Within glow, I'll be using my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter in shade 3. This color works beautifully for me in summer, and it plays so nicely with the Estée Lauder foundation. It's like they were meant to be together. Now this is my discontinued Givenchy Prisme Libre powder. Yes, I know it's discontinued, and yes, I know I can't replace it, but that is exactly why I need to use it. I refuse to fall into the trap of saving something just because there isn't another one out there. Beauty products are meant to be used, not preserved like museum pieces. So this one is going to get a lot of love this month. For bronzing powder, I'm remembering my Benefit Hoola. This thing has survived multiple declutters, countless panning for gold comparisons, and it's still here. There is a reason for that. But now I want to compare it head to head with my Gucci bronzer in shade 3. See if one is actually better or if they're just different tools for different moods. And then we have this NARS Orgasm on the Beach palette. Look at all of these colors that are just perfect on me when I'm tan. There's the classic Orgasm blush, but there's also these other shades that I always forget about. This red shade, Zuma, looks intimidating in the pan, but on a tan, it gives me just the right hint of sunburn. The highlighter in here is beautiful too, and now is the perfect time to remember why I bought this palette in the first place. Okay, here is where we get into the real remember territory. This is my Natasha Denona Lila palette, and this thing is a blast from the past. Look at these colors, these vivid purples, these rich berries. If anything is going to help me remember why I used to love color, it's probably this palette. I'm a little nervous about it, if I'm being honest, but it's the good kind of nervous, that excited kind. I want to see how brave I'll get with these shades. Will I stick to safe neutral looks, or will I surprise myself and go full color? I guess we'll find out together. For brows, I'll be using my good old ABH Brow Wiz. The packaging might be falling apart, but the product inside is still perfectly good. Plus, it's the only brow pencil I have right now, so this is less remembering and more making do with what I've got. When it comes to my lashes, I'm continuing with the About Face 1994 mascara, which I've been testing for a while, but here's where the remember theme gets personal. A friend recently gave me this Clinique High Impact mascara in the shade Black Honey, and I think that warm shade is going to be perfect with the Lila palette. I remember really enjoying the High Impact mascara when I had a sample of it a while ago, and now I get to remember my friend too, which feels really nice. For eyeliner, I'm breaking out two options from Melt Cosmetics, Mixtape for my cooler purple looks and 818 for the warmer purple tones. Because if I'm going to do this color experiment properly, I need the right supporting cast. Now, since I'm going very colorful on the eyes and cheeks, I'm keeping the lips more muted. I'm choosing deeper, more saturated My Lips But Better shades that work with my deeper skin tone right now. Gucci's Satin Lipstick in Painted Veil for something a little pinky, and Sisley's Le Futur Rouge in Beige Tahiti for something a little more in the brown direction. And I'll be combining both of those with the MAC Spice Lip Liner because some things are classics for a reason. So that's my Remember September bag. I am a little nervous about some of these choices, especially the Natasha Denona palette and that Kevyn Aucoin contour stick, but it's the excited kind of nervous. I'm hoping that I'll remember why I used to love color so much, and maybe that will inspire some looks that I wouldn't normally try. The real question is, how brave will I get? And will remembering what I already have actually make me happier than constantly searching for something new? I suspect yes. If you want to do this yourself and maybe take it a step deeper, I've created a Remember September stash shopping challenge worksheet for my Club Adagio members over on Patreon. It's a guided way to shop your stash more intentionally with prompts and exercises to help you rediscover products you might have forgotten, but also to resist the urge to forget anything by shopping for too many new items. If you want to see how these products actually perform and whether or not I choose to get brave with that purple palette, make sure you've subscribed for the Get Ready content I'll be creating with this makeup bag. And definitely stick around for the follow-up about a month from now, where I'll review not only the products, but also Remember September as a whole. So what do you think? Are there any products in your collection that you might have forgotten about? Maybe a color or two that you used to love, but you haven't touched in weeks or months, or maybe even in my case, years? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about your own Remember September rediscoveries. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe, and check out this video here. Thanks for hanging out, and thanks to all of my patrons and channel members, including my Adagio angels, for making content like this possible. And I hope we can all remember that even stumbling can be a form of moving forward. So let's stumble in style.